Hi, beautiful friends. Today I'm going to be going over my finished object of one of the most popular knitting patterns in the world, as well as getting you caught up on all of the works in progress that I have on my needles. And one of my dream knits is coming to fruition. So I'm going to be showing you some new yarn, new to me yarn. Let's get into it. Hi, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Mother Knits. My name is Catherine. I am a full-time mama and maker and love to create a handmade home. If you are interested in following my journey of really creating this handmade home and making things for myself, beautiful heirloom garments and children's garments, toys, housewares. I love to dabble in all of those things. And if that sounds interesting to you, I would so appreciate if you subscribed to my channel. It really helps me continue to show up here and create video content for you, which I love to do. So thank you for being here and connecting with me. I hope to hear from you in the comments. I love a good chatty comment thread, as you can see from previous videos. And I'm just so grateful that you're here. Mostly on this channel, I'm sharing with you all of my knitting adventures. I'm about to welcome our third baby into the world in about a month now. And so it's kind of an exciting time where there's lots of projects that I'm very excited to be finishing up before baby arrives, and some things to cast on while I'm just, doing a lot of resting and laying around with baby for those first few weeks. And I'm really excited to share all of that with you. So the star of today's episode, I think, well, that's not true. Maybe the pattern that I'm going to show you at the end is extremely special. But let's start with a bucket list knit, I think, for many knitters, which is the Ranunculus by, oh no, what is her name? Midori. It's Midori something, and I'll just put it on the screen. I think you all, if you've heard of this pattern or if you watch other knitters, you know about this pattern. But this was such a spontaneous cast on. I bought this pattern months and months ago. I just fell in love with it. I thought it was so beautiful. I was watching other knitters make it. I was captivated by the beautiful lace yoke combined with the raglan fit. I thought that was so genius. And I was seeing all of these different variations of how it was made. And one of my favorite videos that I just found recently is by Stephanie from Edible Thought Makes. She has a wonderful roundup of like around 5 ranunculus tops that she has made. And she does a fantastic job of going through each of her knitted items and how they serve her in a little bit of a different way. Some of them are summer tops, some of them are winter tops. She made different alterations on different sweaters for different reasons, and it was just very informative and really got my creativity going about making this again, because I will absolutely be making this again. I do think it's worth the hype. I think it's such an engaging knit. When I first bought the pattern, I looked at the first few pages and then I just closed it and was like, nope, this is not going to be for me right now. But after getting a few projects under my belt, I returned to it with sort of a newfound enthusiasm, I guess. And after I finished this pressed flowers shawl, I had quite a lot of this blue flower color that's the same yarn. And as soon as I finished that, I cast this on because I just thought the blue was so perfect for this time of year. Beautiful spring top. This yarn is Barocco Vintage DK in the colorway Bird's Nest. I think it's very sweet. Now, as I was knitting this up, this is a size 3, and I cropped it quite a bit because this ended up going to my daughter. I am about 9 months pregnant right now and just wanted to make myself a different ranunculus with sleeves and just kind of get a quick one off the needle. So as you can see, I did not do the sleeves at all. I just joined the body and left these little cap sleeves, which is an option in the pattern. I knew I just wanted to kind of get one of these under my belt, and I was not in a rush, but I had other projects that I was also excited to be getting to. So I cropped this one a bit short. I tried it on my daughter, and it's just so cute. As soon as she put it on, this was so beautiful with her coloring, and she even wore this out the other night. We went to a friend's house and made homemade pizzas and had such a fun time, and she wore this over a like a pink tulle dress, and it kind of dressed it down a little bit and added that extra layer in the evening because it is still pretty cool here, especially at night in northern Arizona. And I'm just thrilled to make some more. I really, all of the yarn that I have now, I can't help but think like, I wonder what that would look like as a ranunculus. It's just such an inspiring pattern to me, and one that over the next few years I will absolutely be making more of. I actually have some yarn that would be really gorgeous for this, for a summer top. And I have this Rowan cotton cashmere. It's so beautiful. And what is the color? I don't know if the color is on here. It's something like a coral or something like that. But I bought a bunch of this last summer for another lace top that I was going to make. And then I just started finding other patterns and other things that I thought I would love using this yarn for more. And I considered making a ranunculus with this yarn. I think it would be a perfect summer top. But I think the next one I want to make, I'd like there to be just a sleeve that hits me right above the elbow. And I'm just not sure yet. I have such a large quantity of this that I think I might want to do like a longer lace cardigan or something else. I don't know. I'm going to think about this and get back to you on what I land on, but this is feeling really special to me and something that I want to be wearing this summer. So maybe it'll be a ranunculus, maybe not. I'm going to link the Edible Thought Makes channel, Stephanie's video, in the description below so that you guys can see how she went about constructing all of these different ranunculus. And there's many videos like that on YouTube with knitters who share, their bouquet of ranunculus knits. And I just think it's so sweet. And I personally think it's worth the hype. I was not convinced before I knitted it. I was really skeptical because there is such a hype around this pattern, but it's well deserved and I totally get it. I will absolutely be knitting more. I just don't know which one is going to be next for me, but I've got some ideas, and I think this would be such a fun project to practice or experiment with some marling and bright colors too. That is the finished object for this week, the ranunculus. Just absolutely adore it and can't wait to make more. So let's move on to what is on my needles, the works in progress. The first thing I'm so excited to show you is the progress on my Home V sweater by Kadri. This is the same designer. Oh, that's right. I am out of yarn. I think that was actually, I finished a skein last night and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop there. I'm not going to attach the new ball. I was kind of done. And I was like, and I'll show you today what one skein of this yarn can get you. This is the same designer from my winter coat, the field day jacket. Her patterns are very, very much written for beginner knitters, which I really appreciate. There's just no confusion. She has little video tutorials on, you know, picking up the left shoulder or whatever it is that just sometimes you need that visual. These patterns are just so easy to follow. A little more wordy than some other patterns, but I prefer that. I'd rather have a little bit more than not enough. And it's just been such a mindless and easy knit. And the yarn I'm using for this beautiful sweater is the Desert Breeze. It is Superwash merino wool, and it's a DK weight. I was telling you guys in the last episode that it really has that kind of slippery, almost squeaky feel to me. I don't know how often I'm gonna want to do a full superwash sweater. I don't, excuse me, I don't mind the ritual of hand washing my garments. It's actually a little bit of a pleasurable chore for me. I don't mind it. It's not something that feels, I don't know, overwhelming. Just to, you know, gather all the knits or hand wash items together, clean them by hand, lay them flat to dry. There's something about that ritual that actually is quite enjoyable for me, and I don't personally mind it. So, but I also do understand, especially for kid knits and some things, you just want to be able to wear it, not worry about it, and wash it. I totally get that. That's what this will be. This will just kind of be like more of a workhorse knit, like a workhorse wardrobe staple for me in the spring, because it's such a beautiful spring color. And it's just a really basic V-neck sweater, like something that I hope and I imagine I'll be throwing on a lot, and it's just easy to wear. So that is my vision for this sweater. I don't actually have too many basic sweaters like that. I'm so drawn to the extravagant knits at times that I really, this year, I want to make myself a few staple things like this that are easy to care for, easy and quick to knit up. I mean, this is, you know, one skein of yarn exactly, because I have nothing left. And this just came together in like a few days. And so I think this will actually be off my needles much sooner than I think. The neck ribbing might take a little bit of time. You know, there's always sleeves and all of that, but I'm actually really motivated to finish this, because as I'm looking at this color, I cannot stop thinking about how gorgeous this yarn would be as a flower in another pressed flowers project. So I really want to see how many grams of yarn I'm gonna have left after knitting this sweater, because I think I'm gonna have enough because I bought enough for a size small. I ended up, after reading the pattern more carefully and realizing it's a superwash, I went down to an extra small, and I think because I bought enough quantities for the bigger size, I think I'm going to have at least one skein left over, which should be enough for some of the other pressed flowers patterns that I would love to make. I think the vest with this as the flowers, and then like, I don't know what I would do as the main color, maybe I was almost thinking like some sort of neutral brown that had enough contrast against this that would really let it pop. I think that could be really, really pretty. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm like I'm knitting this and I'm like, this would be the most beautiful color for those flowers. And even if I don't have enough for using this sunrise color for all of the flowers, I could sort of stripe and change the flowers mixed in with some other leftover scrap yarn too. So I'm really excited to finish this for so many reasons. One, I want to start wearing it now. It's like, it is the time around here to be wearing this sweater. So I want to wear it and start wearing it soon. And then I'm also just really excited to know, like, would I have enough for the vest, for the pressed flowers vest? Because that could be such a fun way to use up the rest of that yarn. I've got one more project I want to update you guys on, and it's hilarious because it looks exactly the same as last week, but I ended up snipping off that old project. The pattern is the Coming Home Set by Petite Knits. There's a name. It's like Ellen's Coming Home Set or something. It's a really cute little like wrap cardigan in a newborn size with a bonnet and matching pants. Just a really, really darling first outfit for baby who's going to be joining us in a month. I cannot believe it. And I was telling you guys last week, I was having problems with the ribbing and with the pattern, and I hadn't made it that far, and I was like, I'm just not feeling very good about this. So last night I scrapped what I had done, totally started over, and I realized that the pattern has some typos in it. And so I need to send an email to the designer because there's things in there that actually do not make sense. And so, for example, it'll say like row 1 is your wrong side, and then row 3 is your right side. But when you're working back and forth, that doesn't make sense. So there were just things that, just some little typos that I think the first time I was reading it through, I didn't catch it. It made sense afterward as I did it a second time. And so I sort of like made my own notes to get at the correct way to do this. And I'm having a much easier time with this little knit. So it looks exactly the same as it did last week when we chatted, except, to you, right? But it looks a lot better to me. The ribbing is much cleaner. The increases are marked more appropriately. It's going a lot better, and it's a much more enjoyable little jacket to make now. And this will just be kind of like, it gets pretty cool here in the evenings, and we keep the windows open at night. We let it get pretty chilly in our house and love that cool, fresh air. And so baby will have a nice baby alpaca sweater set, jumper, kind of pants, hat, and sweater to have on. And this yarn is the baby alpaca yarn. You can get this on Amazon. I'll link it below. Excuse me. I got a big box of this as a Christmas gift a few years ago, 2 Christmases ago, and had used it mostly for crochet projects and cardigans and things like that. And I still have just like gobs of it left. And they come in 50-gram balls. It is so soft. If you like alpaca, you'll love this. I mean, it is so squishy and soft, and it's just a very basic neutral color. It's a wonderful yarn to have a large quantity of. I've used this in many different projects for my kids. I've made my daughter a cardigan in this. What else? I feel like it's just great for like super soft kid clothes. I am so excited to show you what I have coming up for this spring. So I feel like I always need a project that is a challenge, that is my learning project. Now, I showed you guys the doll last week, and that has been a lot of fun, but it isn't quite this like something gorgeous. I feel like that is always something that I love to be working on. I love to be working on something that for the rest of my life I will look at this piece and just be like, this is like a work of art. I love this so much. I feel like the pressed flower shawl was satisfying that in the month of January for me. And it was so satisfying to see that completed and to sort of take on that new challenge of mosaic knitting. And the other night I was looking through Ravelry. I was looking through one of my favorite designers, Irene, what is her name? Irene Lynn. Oh my gosh, like I want to knit everything from her. I was so excited to find her patterns, and there were a lot of things that I had saved for winter knits that weren't too warm, because she does a lot of beautifully designed kind of like oversized vests and sweaters and things that I don't think I would overheat in Arizona. And I thought she was such a brilliant designer for that. And then I started recently looking at things that were more spring appropriate that she had designed. And oh my goodness, there are so many things I want to knit. But the one that like I have never actually had like a response, like I saw this pattern and I was just like, I have to do this. I have to learn this. I have to figure this out. And I wanted it to look exactly like hers. So I treated myself to getting the yarn that she recommends. And she recommends some really gorgeous yarns. It's like a lot of cashmeres, like a lot of like really gorgeous things. But I think that's appropriate because her designs are just so intricate and beautiful that you want the quality of yarn to match the quality of the design. And so the top that I'm going to be casting on, I'm going to wind up this yarn and cast on, is the Faye top by Irene Lynn. It is an absolute dream garment for me. Everything about this is perfect. I love it. I love the detailing. I love the way that the sleeves are constructed. And then there's that like fluttery, airy sleeve that's going to cover a bit more of my arms. It's going to stay really nice and airy. I saw this and it was like, I have to knit that. And I want it to look exactly like hers. So I got the yarn and I'm so excited to show it to you. I have 6 skeins of the Woolfolk yarn. This just arrived the other day and I was absolutely smitten when I opened up the package. So this is a 50% merino, 50% linen blend. The color, it's like a number. It's like the color 2 or something, S2. It's a neutral with just the tiniest bits of a blushing pink. I don't know if that's going to show up so much here, but it is a really soft, beautiful neutral, very, very lightweight. I'm so excited to cake this up and get this cast on as my next sort of like adventurous knit. This is going to be definitely a learning experience for me. I've read through the pattern front to back a few times and highlighted some things already and made some notes and just started to get my mind there as far as what I'm going to be doing. I really think this is going to just take me to that next level as a knitter, and I'm really, really excited about that. So I'm gonna wind this up, I think today. I'm gonna get it wound up and get it cast on, and I'm not gonna put a timeline on this one because I want it to turn out well. It was a big investment to get this yarn, and it's so beautiful. I'm not in a rush. I was kind of in a rush with the Ranunculus, and it's funny sometimes when we're using a yarn that's just sort of a, I don't know, like a leftover, or you know, oh, I'm just gonna like try to whip that up, and there's a lot of fun in that process because there's no pressure, but you kind of just want to get it done, right? And that was sort of my energy with the Ranunculus. This is going to be a slow make. If I don't get this done for a few months, I'm okay with it. I really want to take my time. I really want it to turn out just the way that I want, the exact garment that I want. So I'm so excited about this. And I'm so excited to work with this fabric. With this yarn and create fabric with it. It is absolutely like, I love it so much. Oh man, I'm like feeling very spoiled. And now that I've felt this and I know that this is what it is, I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be kind of a tricky one to like step away from, because it is, to me, the perfect yarn. A linen wool blend for my climate, for my even style preferences, is absolutely perfect. I'm just so excited to take you guys on that journey, and let's get this wound up and let's cast it on. Thank you so much for being here with me today and having a little chat with me about what I'm working on and all the special things that are on the horizon over here. It's always such a joy to sit down and be able to share with you my making progress and process and all of the dreams that are, coming to fruition for me over here. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you if you comment and like, and if you've subscribed. I appreciate that so very much. It really helps me with being able to produce more videos like this one. When you guys are doing that, it really does mean the world to me, and I appreciate it so much. That's all I have for you today. I am excited. Next week we're gonna have a special video where we just talk about some spring inspired knitting plans, and I've got some houseware things and just like little spring projects that are on the horizon as well. And I hope that you come back and tune in for that one, because I think it's going to be a really inspiring and informative episode for you all. So I will see you then, and until then, take care and happy knitting.